Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be finding out what awaits you in this new chapter of your life. What new beginnings are happening for you right now? I wanted to do this topic because where I am right now, spring is starting, it's getting warmer, the cherry blossoms are blooming, and this is just such an exciting time. It just fills me up with energy and inspiration and excitement for what's to come. And so I wanted to use this energy to bring a reading of new beginnings to you. So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and then please pick whichever one or ones you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Pink Cat's Eye. Number 2 is Angel Aura Quartz. Number 3 is Titanium Aura Amethyst. And number 4 is Aqua Aura. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones. So if you guys chose the Pink Cat's Eye, this is going to be a reading all about the new beginnings coming your way in this next chapter of your life. Let me introduce to you the decks that we're gonna be using today. I am obsessed with these. They're so colorful, so full of life, and they go really well together, which you will see in just a second. The decks that we're using today are ta-da! The Zeke's Arcana Tarot and the Spread Crafters Oracle. And these 2 decks together are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. I think many of you guys are familiar with Tarot Stack already, but just in case you haven't heard of them, they are an online shop which features a wide selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, so you can browse a ton of different decks all in one place. And what I love about Tarot Stack is that 50% of their profits go towards helping indie deck creators make their projects a reality. So they help these creators print their decks and get them published, get them out into the world. And I just love what they do for the tarot community, for creators, for tarot readers, tarot enthusiasts. We love them over here on this channel. If you guys like this bundle, I'm gonna have it linked down below. I will also have each individual deck linked if you wanna check them out. And if you do get the bundle, you can get 10% off using the code KINO. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're gonna start off with the tarot. So I'm gonna pull a few cards from this deck, and then we're gonna go right into the Oracle to get clarifiers. Ooh, she shuffles nicely. Okay. Group number 1, the Pink Cat's Eye. What new beginnings can group number 1 expect in this next chapter of their life? So we're starting off with the Emperor. And as I'm holding this card up, we have 222, 222 on the camera timer. We also have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And Strength. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so now let's get our oracle cards to clarify. And these oracle cards are gonna let us know what exactly each of these cards are referring to or what they want to talk to you about. Ooh, this one shuffles nicely too. Okay, so why is the Emperor coming up for group number 1? What is the Emperor representing or wanting to tell group number 1 about? Why is the Emperor here? Okay, so we have 2. We have interesting, align, to connect deeply, to return to proper course, to live in your truths. And then we have purge, to destroy, to cleanse, to renew, to eradicate and transform. And I feel like it's significant the order that these came out as well. So I'm gonna put these here to clarify the Emperor. And what about the 8 of Pentacles? Why is the 8 of Pentacles here for group number 2? Manifest, to create, to bring into existence, to make into reality. And why is the Knight of Coins here? What is the Knight of Coins representing? Ooh, finances, money, and abundance. Love that. Okay, and then strength. Why is the strength card here? What is the strength card representing? Worldview. Your point of view, your perspective, your opinions, and your attitude. You can also dive deeper and use this card to explore your core values, ingrained beliefs, and childhood conditionings. Okay, and then I'm also going to take the bottom of the deck card to clarify this Wheel of Fortune. And we have intention, what you aim to achieve, what you seek to manifest in life, and what you commit to carrying out into the future. Wow. Okay. How do we, okay, I'll do it like this. So yeah, our 2 bottom of the decks here. I'm going to use these bottom of the deck energies as like the main theme of this next chapter in your life. And this is really, really exciting. With the Wheel of Fortune, there's a feeling of the ball is getting rolling. So in this next chapter of your life, a lot of you guys will find yourselves getting out of some kind of rut, getting out of a stagnant situation, getting away from a feeling of being stuck in life, like nothing is happening for you. I think that things are gaining momentum for you, but I'm also hearing that this is not going to happen overnight, because we do have the Knight of Pentacles here. And we do have the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles tend to be more like of a slow and steady energy rather than things happening suddenly or happening overnight. So just to give a concrete example of this, let's say you have your own business and business is not very good. Maybe you're not feeling very inspired, you don't really have a lot of ideas for your business, or the customers just aren't coming in, sales are not really coming in, whatever it might be. And so this is promising to you that the ball is going to get rolling and that you will get out of this stagnant situation, but it's not really going to happen overnight. Like you won't just wake up one day and suddenly have 100 orders, but like maybe you didn't have any orders for a week, and then one day you wake up and you have 3 orders and you're like, oh, this is interesting. And then maybe next week you have 5 orders. So it's like gradually growing over time. But once the ball gets rolling, it does snowball. So it's a feeling of the growth is starting slow, but then it will grow exponentially. And this can be applied to anything that you are trying to manifest. It's just showing me that the energies are starting to move in your favor. And at first you're going to see it subtly, little things manifesting for you. And then it starts to grow exponentially. With the Wheel of Fortune here, I really do feel like luck is on your side. And with this intention clarifier, I feel like anything that you really put your focus on, anything that you set your mind to, it will manifest at this time. It may take some patience and it will take some effort, but this is like a promise that anything you focus on will bear fruit for you. Yes. And I also want to talk about the number 10 that is on this card. If we look at the digits 1 and 0, 1 definitely makes me think of new beginnings, being, the first number, number 1. And 0 makes me think of a completely clean slate. It makes me think of infinity. So this tells me that the next chapter for you guys is a new beginning of infinite possibilities. And this means that the next chapter for you is really anything that you want it to be. It's less so about this is going to happen to you and this is going to happen to you, and more so the ball is in your court now. And anything that you set your sights on, anything that you intend to do or to make happen, the universe is going to amplify that energy. The universe is going to, how do I say it? Make it gain momentum. Or like match your donation, match your donation of energy and intention. So basically any effort you put in at this time, the universe is going to multiply it. Maybe that is the most efficient way of saying it, but this is a very exciting energy for you guys. I'm also getting the feeling, and this is very specific maybe for some of you, but in this next chapter of your life, there's going to be a resolution or things moving in a positive direction with regards to something you were concerned about, like in the world, like some current events, the state of things in the world. There is something that you guys are worried about. There's going to be advancements or good news in that. So I don't know, let's say you guys have been really concerned about the environment, or you've been really concerned about pollution. Then in this new chapter of your life, you're going to start to see like good news popping up about, oh, we have found a way to recycle this material. We have found a sustainable energy source. So like whatever you guys are worried about in the world, you're going to start to see more and more like advancements popping up in that area. I hope that makes sense. And I'm feeling that this is going to ease your worries. It's going to kind of restore your faith in the world. Like, okay, we're actually moving in a good direction. This is good. We're seeing progress. It could be like social issues as well. Starting to see things move in a good direction. And, that's not necessarily about your individual life. I just think it might very much affect your individual life, but I think it's something that you're going to see happening like out there in the world that is going to make you hopeful. So I wanted to mention that as well. So now let's get into these energies that we have here. We're going to go through them in order. With the Emperor here, an Aries person could be significant. You could be in Aries or have Aries placements, or Aries season could be significant, which if you are watching this when this is posted, Aries season is literally right now. So the next month could be very significant for you guys. But what we see here is that you guys are aligning with this Emperor energy. And the Emperor is someone who is very much in charge of their life, calls the shots in their own life, and makes empowered choices for themselves. There's a feeling of stepping into a leadership role, which could be the case professionally. Some of you guys could be stepping into a leadership role at work. You could be the leader of a group in a project, whether that's at work or at school, or you could be doing your own independent project, like self-starting something. But I think in a broader sense, this just means that you really feel like the leader of your own life in this next chapter. You feel like the main character of your own life. If you guys have been depending on someone in a way that you don't want to, like I have to depend on this person and I'm not happy about it, I feel like that is going to change. Now, if you're dependent on someone and that works for you and you're happy about that, then ignore me. But if you're like, man, I really wish that I didn't have to depend on, for example, this family member or this company or this system, I feel like I'm at the mercy of this system or of this person, that is going to change. You are going to be free from their control. In this next chapter, you're going to get to do things more in the way that you want to. You're going to get to do things more freely. I'm seeing this very much. There's a feeling of you're gaining independence yeah, like you're not at the mercy of something or someone. And actually, now that I'm feeling deeper into this energy, this could also be breaking free from some kind of addiction or habit that you had. That's another way of interpreting this for sure. Like, you are now in control of how you spend your time and what you do and what you consume. You're very much in control of yourself. And I also very much think this is a chapter where it's more based on your free will, or like your free will and divine will are on the same page and working together very, very well. Because like I said before, this is a chapter of your life where the things that you focus on and put effort into, you're gonna see direct results from it. And it's gonna be very predictable and very satisfying, in the sense of like, the more effort you put in, the more results you get. Like, it's almost gonna be like a predictable equation, and that's going to be very, very nice. So, you know, if one month you're like, I want to work really hard and produce a lot of results, then you can do that. Or if another month you're like, I'm going to work less and have less results, and I'm okay with that. It's like you can predict what you're going to get based on what you put in, which is really, really lovely. You know, sometimes things feel up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen, but I think in this chapter, at least, you feel very secure in like knowing what the outcome is going to be of like where you align your efforts and hard work, if that makes sense. Now, we also have this purge card here, which is kind of interesting. I just saw 1515. That is the number of the devil, which actually can talk about obsessions and addictions and things like that. So maybe some of you guys are like purging an addiction. That could be to a substance like caffeine or alcohol or something like that. It could be to social media, could be to a person. Like if you've been very obsessed with a person or very attached to a certain connection, we can be breaking free from that. But there is a feeling of letting go of something and completely taking back your power and taking back your control over your mind and control over your life, and feeling very empowered. But I think it's interesting the order that these came out. Like, you're aligning with this emperor and then you're purging. Because I feel like a lot of the time it comes out the other way, doesn't it? We talk about you have to let go of things to make room for what's to come, right? But I feel like for you guys, you're actually welcoming in new energy first and then realizing, oh, there's no room for this old energy anymore. There's just no room for it. So in the example, like let's say you're addicted to like scrolling on social media, but then things start booming in your career, things start booming in your business, and you're aligning with this emperor energy. This will literally be you like, I actually don't have time. I don't have time to be scrolling on social media anymore. I'm in this emperor energy, so this has to go, and I'm deleting this app. So it's more like the new blessings come in first, and then there's just no room for these old things that aren't serving us anymore, and they just leave. They just exit stage, which is very interesting because I just feel like it often comes the other way around, where we say like you have to let go first and then welcome in the new energy. But I don't know. We're doing it the other way. We do things differently over here. Okay, so moving on now, we have the 8 of Pentacles, which is clarified by manifest, to create, to bring into existence, to make into reality. So we have some Virgo energy here with the 8 of Pentacles. More specifically, this is a sun in Virgo. So a Virgo, a person with a sun in Virgo could be significant. That could be you or someone else. Or when the sun is in Virgo, could be an important time for you guys. And actually, we do have Leo energy here as well. So like Leo and Virgo are next to each other in the year. So like late July to late September. That could be an important time for you guys. Whenever you're watching this, I feel like that's a significant time. So here, what we see is you guys manifesting through hard work and repetition. The Eight of Pentacles is about putting continued efforts into something. It makes me think of like a practice makes perfect sort of energy. We're doing something over and over. Ooh, interesting. Okay, we're doing something over and over and over until we master it and it's bringing us results. So something else that's going to be happening for you guys in this new chapter is that you guys are mastering a certain skill. Or it could even be multiple skills that you are working on. And especially for those of you who have a tangible goal in the skill that you're working on, you're going to reach that tangible goal. So I'm trying to think of an example of this. Like, let's say you are learning Mandarin and you're like, I want to reach the level of, I think it's HSK. Please excuse me if I'm wrong, but like the test, the proficiency test for Mandarin. I'm sure there's a lot of them, but I think that's one of the more popular ones. And you're like, I want to reach HSK 5, or is that right? Whatever. Or I want to reach the JLPT, the Japanese language proficiency test N2. Like, if you have a specific tangible goal of like, I want to reach this level of my skill, I want to be able to do this specific thing. I want to get that good at it, this quantifiable level of my skill. You are going to reach it. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say, but I think you guys get the picture. I also think that, and this is just one of my own personal interpretations of this card, I also think that you could be meeting more people who have the same interests as you. And I'm hearing, pay attention to the new people who come into your life at this time and pay attention to what their professions are and what their skills are, because this is probably a sign that you are meant to go down a similar path, that there's really some promise here for you. So like if you are an athlete and then you start meeting a lot of athletes, it's like Spirit's way of saying, pay attention to this. You should put more effort into this. There is some promise here for you. Or if you are a songwriter and then all of a sudden you start meeting a lot of people who are in music, like just by chance, that's Spirit's way of saying, keep pursuing this thing. So pay attention to the professions and skills of people you meet, and you will start to meet a lot of them in succession. This is how Spirit is letting you know you need to keep going down this path. It's going to lead to something very good for you. This path is meant for you. Yes. One thing that I see here, you're definitely manifesting through repeated actions, but there was also a message that came through about you improving your skill via visualizing. And maybe you guys have heard of this tactic before, but it would be like, for example, you're becoming a better public speaker by doing it a lot, yes, but you can also improve by visualizing yourself public speaking. And that will almost be the same as practicing, or visualizing yourself doing that gymnastics trick and nailing it. So in addition to your actions, like sitting down, closing your eyes and picturing yourself going through the motions and doing an amazing job at the skills you're working on, that is also going to help you manifest improvement and progress and confidence. Very cool. I like that. So next we have the Knight of Pentacles, clarified very aptly by finances, money, and abundance. So this is a chapter, a period of your life where you are going to see your financial situation slowly but surely increasing. Again, like I said at the very start of this reading, it's not just going to be like something that happens overnight, but you will start to notice it over time. So, you know, if you made $100 in one day, maybe in a couple weeks, you're going to notice that you made $120 in one day, and it just goes up more and more in like small increments, but you are seeing a steady increase. Nothing crazy, but it definitely makes you feel more comfortable and more secure. I like that. So you might be getting like small but regular raises at work. Like choop, 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 choop. That's the sound of it going up in small increments. Choop, 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 choop. Or if you are self-employed, or if you have some kind of profession where like the income is different every month, it might go up and down a bit, but when you look at the trend, you will see it slowly going up. Yeah, and I think that that's really what this is talking about. I also think that you guys could either already be like conservative and cautious with your money, but I do see you continuing to take this more cautious approach. So when you do start to make more money, not going and like spending it all, this is a very, yeah, I think conservative would be the right word. Conservative, cautious, calculated, more of a prudent type of energy. So with this extra money you guys make, I feel like you could be saving it or investing it. I feel like we are making smart money decisions. That doesn't mean we're not going to treat ourselves, of course, but I do see you guys being like smart with your money at this time. I think the Knight of Coins has a good head on their shoulders. Yeah. And with this camel, I don't know, again, there's that feeling of coming out of a stagnant situation. Because I'm thinking of a camel who like, is this a camel? I think so. Who, you know, walks through the desert for days on end without water. Maybe you guys have been going through a kind of rough patch or a dry patch in terms of your finances. And we're slowly seeing that start to improve, which is really, really nice. And then finally, we have strength, which is clarified by worldview, your point of view, your perspective, your opinions, and your attitude, like your core values as well. And interestingly, this talks about childhood conditionings as well. There are 2 Leo cards in the major arcana of tarot. There's the strength card here, and there's also the sun. The sun is very childlike. You know, it's carefree, it's playful, it throws inhibitions to the wind and just shines brightly. Whereas I feel like strength is this more like, I gotta hold it down, I gotta be responsible, I gotta be strong. And so some of you guys who chose this group, you may have been more like this in your childhood. Like, there wasn't a lot of occasions where you got to be that playful, silly, carefree child. You maybe kind of had to grow up quickly, or you were responsible for your siblings, for example. Well, actually, you don't even have to necessarily be the older sibling to step into that role, but maybe you had to take care of your siblings, or maybe you had to mature quickly and feel out the emotions of your parents and walk on eggshells, or maybe things were just rough. But there's a feeling of you having to grow up quickly and just take on a lot and be strong from a young age. And I feel like this is something that has continued into your adulthood. And I feel like this last one is more a suggestion or advice for this next chapter. I think that even though you may have learned to be strong, learned to be mature under circumstances that were not ideal, there are still maybe some good things that you can keep, you know, from learning to be this like strong and responsible person. I guess what I'm trying to say is to discern, you know, this is the way I learned to be growing up. What about this could I use to serve me? What about these aspects would I like to keep to serve me into my adulthood? And what about this is not serving me anymore? Because there are definitely some times where being a mature and responsible adult can very much serve us. It gives us discipline, right? It gives us structure. It makes us predictable and reliable so we can trust ourselves to show up and do what we got to do. But it can also kill creativity. It can also kill playfulness. It can also kill wonder and curiosity. So we don't just want to say, like, we don't want to throw everything away from what we learned, even if it was through hard times. And be discerning, like, when does this energy serve me and when does it not serve me? Because I have a feeling, group number one, that there are times where, a lot of times, where your inner child wants to come out and play more. Definitely. And how can I use this mature adult that I have become, not to shut away the inner child, but to support the inner child and nurture the inner child and let them know that they're safe? So the adult in me is not saying, like, there's no time for you, inner child, like, you're being silly, go away, we have to be strong and grown up. We're saying, hello, inner child, thank you for coming out, and allowing that adult part of us to nurture the inner child, allowing them to work together. I really hope that that makes sense. Maybe it was a bit more abstract, but allowing yourself to be simultaneously that silly, carefree, playful, creative, expressive, funny, curious child, and the cautious, conservative, responsible, and strong adult. And not shutting one out over the other, because when you allow both of those aspects of you to be expressed, that is gonna align you on the path to your highest joy and your greatest success. Yeah. We're using our adult not to, like, punish or shut away the child, but to support them. I guess a little bit of is like reparenting your past self or showing love to your child self. That is your advice. Actively supporting your child self in this next chapter of your life. There's a few points in this reading where I'm like, I really hope that that makes sense. So let me know how this reading resonated for you guys. And thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for allowing me to collaborate with you and curate this bundle. Thank you very much to the creators of these amazing decks. And thank you to you guys. If you guys like this bundle, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's going to be linked down below for you. If you want to take more of a look at these decks, I'm going to link also the individual decks down below, because you can look at every single card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. So if you want to take a deeper look and see how it resonates with you, those will be linked down below too. And remember that you can get the bundle with the code KINO for 10% off. Yes, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching this. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless. You can find my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these ones, except you get to choose the topic for them. You can check out my music channel, which includes the song at the start of this video. That is an original song. You can check out my vlog channel, Kino Vlogs, and you can check out my merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. We have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description, as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means a lot to me. Group number ones, I am sending so much love to you, to all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the Angel Aura Quartz, this is going to be a reading all about the new beginnings coming your way in this next chapter of your life. So I want to introduce the decks that we're going to be using today. I love these decks so much. They are so vibrant and full of life, and you'll see in just a second how well they go together. But the decks that we're going to be using today are the Zeke's Arcana Tarot and the Spread Crafters Oracle. And together, these decks are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. I think many of you guys are already familiar with Tarot Stack, but just in case you haven't heard of them before, they're an online shop that has a wide selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, so you can browse all kinds of decks in one place. And I love Tarot Stack because 50% of their profits go towards funding indie tarot and oracle projects. So they actually support independent creators to get their deck printed and published and get it out there into the world. So this business does a lot for deck creators, for readers, and for tarot enthusiasts. I'm really happy and grateful to have them in the community. So if you guys want to check them out, their website will be linked down below. Of course, I'm going to link this bundle as well as the individual decks. And if you do get the bundle, you can get 10% discount using the code KINO. Without further ado, let's get into your reading. So I'm going to start off with the tarot. We're going to pull a few cards from here and then go right into the oracle deck to get clarifiers. Both of these decks shuffle really nicely, by the way. Very satisfying. Okay, for my group number twos, what can group number two expect in the next chapter of their life? We're starting off with the Page of Cups. This is so weird. So when I was doing group number one, the first card that I held up, the camera timer was at 2:22, and the exact same thing happened when I held up your first card, 2:22. Definitely not timing my intro to make it exactly that long. So it's very cool how it ended up like that. Okay, what else can group number two? Oh, and you guys are group number two, so repeating twos might be significant for you guys. What new beginnings are coming to group number two? What can they expect in this new chapter? Okay, we have, wow, the Six of Cups. The Nine of Cups. And the Knight of Coins. Group number one got this as well. So there's been a couple similarities with group number one so far. I don't know if you guys want to check out that group, or maybe you're coming from group number one, in which case, hello, happy to have you here. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. So now let's shuffle our oracle cards to get clarifiers. And actually, Devil Energy, the Devil card didn't come out in group one, but Devil Energy was relevant. Okay, so can we please get a clarifier for the Page of Cups? What is this Page of Cups referring to? What is the Page of Cups trying to tell us about? Behavior, how you express your feelings through action or speech, or how you conduct yourself towards others, your actions and reactions. Okay, and what about the Six of Cups? What does the Six of Cups mean? What is it trying to tell us? What is it referring to? Okay, the Six of Cups is referring to shame. What do you dislike and reject within yourself? What makes you feel unworthy, unwanted, and unloved? What is causing you to judge yourself as bad and unredeemable? What burdens do you carry in your soul? And what does the Nine of Cups mean in this spread? What is it referring to? What is it trying to tell us about? Ooh, goals, productivity, and habit. What is, whoop, okay, that's a lot. What is the Knight of Coins trying to tell us about? Practice. Okay, to put into action, to apply a concept in a practical way, to hone a skill, to develop a habit, to exercise. Okay, and then at the bottom of the deck, we have heal. I love that. To mend, to tend to your wounds, to relieve pain, to attend to wellness and health. Beautiful. Okay, I am very happy that we have this heal card clarifying the devil, because as some of you may know, the devil card, I mean, yeah, you can probably tell from the fact that it's the freaking devil, but it is a kind of challenging energy. It can talk about things that keep us chained, things that hold us back. So it can be things like insecurities. It can be things like addictions. It can be things like negative self-talk, limiting beliefs, things that keep us stuck where we are and things that keep us disempowered. So to have this clarified by heal, I think that the main theme of this next chapter for you guys is that you are healing wounds and insecurities that have been keeping you from living the life that you really want. And I'm hearing that have been keeping you from loving with your whole heart, like loving yourself fully or diving into love without fear. You're healing insecurities that have been holding you back from living the life that you truly want. Or, and I think we'll get into this here, you're healing things from your past that you have been really, really stuck on. This could be mistakes that you have made. And that was actually the feeling, oh, wow. Okay, this is going to get a little bit deep, but some of you have been not allowing yourself to grow from past mistakes that you have made. So maybe like many years ago or when you were younger, you hurt people, you made some mistakes, and now you have learned, you have grown, you've become better, but you're not allowing yourself to move on. You're not forgiving yourself, even though you have grown and changed so much. It's like you keep punishing yourself for these mistakes that you made so long ago. And this is encouraging you, give yourself permission to move on. Give yourself permission to grow. You do not need to continue punishing yourself or holding this over your own head. You can forgive yourself. Now, for others of you, I do believe that you may be stuck on past wounds of others hurting you. So you either still hold resentment for people that you will be freeing yourself from, or maybe you do forgive them. It's just that you still carry the wound. You still carry insecurities. I know personally, I carried insecurities from a relationship for over 10 years. And I didn't realize that I was doing that, but when I dug a little bit deeper, it all came back to this one significant relationship. When I was pretty young, I was a teenager, but I didn't realize how deep those wounds still were and how they were affecting me from like living my life in a carefree way and loving the way I wanted to. So even though my mind, well, do I forgive that person? Maybe, I don't know if I'm ready, but whatever. This is not about me. Even though in my mind, I feel like I can move on from what happened, my heart was still hurting. So you could be letting go of not even just resentment to others, but just wounds that you carried from things that happened a long time ago. But I have to say, for a lot of you, because we have shame and we have the Six of Cups, there are things that you might feel shame for or might feel like it was your fault, but you were literally a child. Like, how could you have any blame in this situation? How are you the one to take responsibility? How could you think that you did something bad? You were an actual child. So there may be things from your childhood that you're releasing in this next chapter of your life, and you're realizing that was not my fault. That was never my fault. That was never my job. Like, you are the innocent one. You are the pure one. You did not do anything wrong. Some of you guys are healing from, like, you carry this shame from your childhood, but like, it's literally not your fault. You were too young to carry this burden or to carry any blame. But you hold yourself to this standard as if you knew better, as if you had anything to do with it. And you need to release that burden from yourself. Or you will be, I should say, you will be releasing that burden from yourself in this next chapter. I hope that that makes sense. It's like we're releasing guilt, we're releasing shame, and we're releasing insecurities from the past that have been lingering over us, so that we can live more freely, we can love more freely, we can just live without that cloud hanging over us. The Nine of Cups as well is about living a more contented and stress-free life. Stress is fading away. And it's interesting. I feel like in group 1, I was very much going in order. Like, I'm going to read this as an isolated thing. I'm going to read this as an isolated thing. Whereas for you guys, I feel like the messages are kind of appearing everywhere. And I do think that that is symbolic in that this one wound or this one insecurity could be appearing in many areas of your life. When you heal this one thing, you find that it positively impacts many areas of your life. Like, it's all woven together. So there's great healing going on, but it feels like a release. It feels like this huge weight is lifted. It feels like forgiveness of ourselves and others, so that we can move on and be fully present in our life, and so that we can love ourselves and others unconditionally. And I do see a lot of love for you guys in this next chapter. We have the Page of Cups, which can literally indicate like new love coming in, new relationships coming in. So there could be a new love interest entering your life, or the start of a new relationship. Or if you're already with someone, or that's not something you're looking for right now, there could be this feeling that existing relationships are being rekindled, or we're looking at them with fresh eyes. In general, I feel like the Page of Cups indicates we're bringing more sweetness into our relationships. We're bringing more affection into our relationships. So, for example, even if like you're already happily in a relationship, so this is not like a new love interest coming in, it could be that we're sort of re-entering the honeymoon phase, so to speak, in our relationship, where we're being more like snuggly and affectionate and romantic with each other. We're looking at our existing relationships with like a fresh, more colorful set of eyes, if that makes sense. And it's interesting that I'm being shown with this clarifier that this Page of Cups is referring to your behavior, how you express yourself. And the Page of Cups is very expressive and very emotional. And it's so interesting that we have this person's like chest bursting open and these fish are coming out. Maybe some of you guys are Pisces, or maybe you have Venus in Pisces or Mercury in Pisces. But I think this is really like your heart cracking open, and you're becoming in this new chapter a lot more vulnerable in your expression of your emotions. You're becoming more vulnerable in expressing how much people mean to you, more open in expressing your fears, what you're concerned about, what's not working for you, everything. Like with this rainbow, you're showing the whole spectrum of your emotions. I'm also hearing my emotions are not a burden. They are information that serves me, and they are information that my loved ones want to know. So we're not hiding our emotions away because they're not a burden. They are valuable information. And my loved ones willingly accept it with open arms. When I share my emotions, my relationships prosper. Yes. And how you express your feelings. Yes. How you conduct yourself towards others, your actions and reactions. So I feel like this is vulnerability. This is also generosity. This is a very sweet time for your relationships. I will put it that way. I see a lot more little acts of affection, acts of service, generously giving our love. I think that this transformation and healing that we're going through, it could also greatly impact your creations if you are like a creative person or an artist. And if you're not, you might open up some creative channel within yourself through this healing. You might start a creative pursuit or start learning some kind of creative modality, if that's the right word. But it feels like your love for life and your romanticizing of life is being rekindled in this next chapter. And also, that was the thing I wanted to say. I was hesitating a little bit in this last part because I'm like, I feel like there's something I'm forgetting to say that I wanted to, and this is what it is. In a lot of tarot decks, the fish is coming out of the cup. In this card, it's literally coming out from inside of you. And the fish in the Page of Cups does make me think of a little element of surprise or a little element of unpredictability. And so there is a feeling of, once you do crack open your heart and open up that emotional channel, you might be surprised at what comes out. You might surprise yourself with how you're truly feeling, especially if you've been suppressing stuff for a long time. Like, wow, I didn't know that bothered me so much, but now that I'm being honest about my feelings, that actually really freaking bothers me. Or like, wow, I didn't realize how deeply I freaking love this person. Or I didn't realize that I felt that way. Just kind of opening up your chest and being a little bit surprised at what comes out. I'm reading this that way as well. So we spoke about this. We spoke about the Six of Cups, clarified by shame. There's two different ways for me to interpret this. I do think that soulmate relationships or a soulmate relationship is very significant in this next chapter of your life. Some of you are meeting your soulmate during this time, but there's also a feeling for others of you that it's like you're realizing that the person in front of you was your soulmate this whole time. You may be realizing in this chapter just how strongly you feel for someone who was like right in front of you this whole time. But now that you're really allowing yourself to feel everything, you realize how much feelings you have towards someone or how special your feelings are towards someone. Very interesting. There's definitely a soulmate around you, but it's like, for some of you, it's a completely new person coming in. For others of you, it's this moment of like, holy crap, how did I not see this before? Like, you were right there in front of me this whole time. Very interesting. I also think that, yeah, you're becoming a lot more expressive and just liking what you like unapologetically. So, for example, if there's something you really like, because I'm thinking these look like troll dolls, I think it is. Like maybe you're a fully grown adult, but you like troll dolls. And so this will be you embracing that without feeling shame of like, oh, this is childish, this is cringe. So just shamelessly liking and sharing the music that you like, the fashion that you like, the aesthetic that you like, the whatever it is, the media that you like. Just sharing all of it without worrying about like, are people gonna think this is weird? Are people gonna think this is cringe? Whatever it is. Because that's how you find your tribe. When you just unapologetically and shamelessly show what you love and what you're all about, that's how you find your tribe. That's how your tribe finds you. Then, and yeah, Piscean energy is coming up quite a bit because we have these fishies here, and then the Nine of Cups is also Pisces, or more specifically, Jupiter in Pisces. We have a bit of Capricorn energy here with the Devil, and we also have Scorpio energy with the Six of Cups. I believe it's actually the Sun in Scorpio. Yeah. So maybe there's like a Scorpio Scorpio sun with some Pisces placements or some Capricorn placements. Yeah, anyway, we have the Nine of Cups, which is clarified by goals, productivity, and habit. So the Nine of Cups indicates some wish being fulfilled for you, and it also indicates you being very content and satisfied with how your life is. Number 9 makes me think of well-roundedness and like balance. It's made up of 3 threes. It feels very nice. So I think that you are living a very balanced and well-rounded life at this time. I think you're very happy with your routines and very happy with your habits. And I think that you are living in a routine that really works for you, not necessarily what everyone else is doing or what seems to work for other people, but that is uniquely tailored to you, and you are doing that without shame. Even if your daily life and schedule looks very different from others, even if others would look at what you're doing and being like, that's weird, that's unhealthy, or whatever. If it works for you, it works for you. And there's no shame in that. One thing we're not doing in this next chapter is being ashamed of existing and being ashamed of doing what works for us, no matter how similar or different that might look. Anyway, fulfillment, being happy with what you have, and some kind of wish coming true. So for those of you who have any wish that is related to like a goal that you're trying to reach, or maybe you have a wish to build certain habits, maybe you have a wish to live a certain kind of daily lifestyle, a wish to be more productive, you're definitely realizing that in this next chapter of your life. I think that we have a really healthy relationship with productivity at this time, meaning that we get our motivation to be productive like from within, because we're doing things that are worthwhile, because we're doing things that we really care about, and we're being gentle with ourselves in the sense that if I don't get as much done today, that is completely fine. Like, I'm just happy that I showed up and that I put in an effort for myself and that I made things a little bit easier for future me. Like, that's all I can really ask of myself. I think this is you realizing that you're a human, you're not a robot, you're not gonna have the same output every single day. Maybe some days you feel like switching up your routine. You don't feel like doing the exact same thing. So allowing yourself that flexibility and trusting that you'll still get what needs to be done and not worrying about it. I'm very guilty of this. Like, literally every week I'm like, what if I don't get things done? What if I fall behind? And every week it's fine. Yeah, so being productive because you actually enjoy what you're doing and not because it's this like standard that you're holding yourself to. Like, if I'm not productive, then I'm a waste of space. Like, we're being productive because we have a routine and habits that we like and that serve us and that energize us. So lifestyle is looking really good. Routine is looking really good. And And then we have the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles, which is clarified by practice, to put into action. Ooh, okay. To apply a concept in a practical way, to hone a skill, to develop a habit, to exercise. So I think that you guys, in this next chapter, it's like you're focusing more on building habits than on end results, which is going to be really helpful. So like, let's say you are a writer, it would be like, rather than saying, I want to write this book by the end of the year, because that's like the end goal. You are just focusing on your daily habits. So you're saying like, okay, I'm going to spend an hour a day writing, or even 30 minutes a day writing. And it doesn't matter if I write for 30 minutes and it's all trash and I scrap it. It doesn't matter if I sit at the computer and stare at a blank document for 30 minutes. I don't care. I'm not putting the standard on myself of output. I'm just committing to show up for 30 minutes. And if you do that consistently, the book will get made. Like, it's inevitable. The book will happen, but you're not putting that pressure on yourself for those 30 minutes of like, I better do something good because I have to finish the book by the end of the year. You're taking off that pressure and saying, I already won that I even showed up here, like sitting at my desk, because this is what I set out to do today. And I'm just going to write. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, that's okay. We'll scrap it. We'll put it on the back burner. But all I know is that I'm here, and that was my goal. And when you take that pressure off of yourself, it allows you for a lot more exploration. It allows you for more creativity. I think you're going to create much better when you're not stressing yourself out and treating yourself like a machine, like a work machine, like an art machine, or whatever it is. Yes. So consistency is the key. Not necessarily consistent results, not necessarily consistent output, but just consistently showing up and getting into that habit. And once you get into it, it will just become like, what's it called? Like clockwork? It will become like second nature. I can use myself as an example with exercise. Like, it's really hard sometimes to get myself out there and go for a run. But once I'm in it, like, I thoroughly enjoy myself and I don't want to stop and I want to keep doing it regularly. But then if I fall off the wagon, it's really hard to get back on. So it's like, it might be hard to start doing it. In fact, that might be the hardest part. But once you get back into it, you'll find yourself like actively wanting to do it every day, actively wanting to keep up that habit, actively wanting to do that task. Because you get into the habit. Like, our body likes habit, you know? When you exercise regularly, for example, your body wants to keep exercising because it gets used to it. It likes it. And then if you stop, your body wants to be sedentary because it got used to that. So it's like, just the consistency will build up that habit. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. And yeah, it looks like that is everything. We spoke about this. Yes. Okay, so this is what I see for your next chapter, for the new beginnings that are coming your way. These were really beautiful messages, group number 2. I'm so happy for you guys. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you very much to Tarot Stack for collaborating with me once again on a seasonal bundle. Thank you very much to the creators of these beautiful decks. I'm just obsessed with how well they go together. I'm obsessed with how colorful they are. Just very, very cool decks. And thank you to you guys for letting me read for you. As I mentioned at the start of this reading, I'm going to have the bundle linked for you down below. And I'm also going to link the individual decks. If you want to take a deeper look at each of these decks and see how they resonate with you, you can actually look at every single card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. So if you want to just get a better feel for them, I recommend taking a look at the individual deck links so you can see the full deck. But if you do choose to get this spring bundle, remember that you can get 10% off with the code KINO. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless. You can find my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these ones, except you guys get to choose the topic. You can find my music on my music channel, including the intro song of this video. That is an original song. You can check out my vlog channel, which is KINO Vlogs, and you can check out my merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that's at the start of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description, as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means a lot to me. Group number 2s, I am sending so much love to you, your spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the titanium aura, rainbow aura, whatever it's called, amethyst, this is going to be a reading all about the new beginnings coming your way in this next chapter of your life. So I want to introduce the decks that we're going to be using today. I've been loving using these. They go so well together. They are super colorful, super perfect for spring. They are the Zeke's Arcana Tarot and the Spread Crafters Oracle, and together these two decks are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. I think a lot of you guys are familiar with Tarot Stack, but just in case you haven't heard of them, they are an online shop that features independent tarot and oracle decks, so you can browse a ton of indie decks all in one place. And what I love about Tarot Stack, aside from their gorgeous collection, is the fact that 50% of their profits go towards funding new indie tarot and oracle deck projects. So they help indie deck creators get their deck printed and published and get it out there into the world. I'm super grateful for what Tarot Stack does for creators, for readers, for tarot enthusiasts. I just love having them with us in this community. Thank you so much for everything you do if you are watching. And this bundle is going to be linked down below for you guys. I'm also going to link both of the individual decks if you want to check them out separately. But if you do choose to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. So without further ado, let's get into your reading. We're going to start off with the tarot. We're going to pull a few from this deck and then go straight into the oracle to get some clarifiers. Okay, my group number 3s. What can group number 3 expect in this new chapter of their life? What new beginnings are happening? Okay, it fell on the floor, just a moment. Your first card is the 6 of Pentacles. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's a crow cawing outside. Okay, we also have the King of Swords. Wow, every group has gotten this card so far, the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the 7 of Swords. And then at the bottom of the deck is this took me a second. I couldn't figure out if it was because this looks like an A, but no, this is the 5 because there's 5 swords. So you have the 5 of swords at the bottom of the deck. So let's get into your oracle now to get some clarifiers. Okay, so starting with the 6 of Pentacles, what is this card meant to represent? What is it trying to tell us? And we have a line. A lot of similar cards are coming out throughout these groups. Like this has come out for all of the groups. This also came out for group number 1. So we have a line: to connect deeply, to return to proper course, to live in your truths. I love how the colors match too. So for the King of Swords, what does this card mean? What is it supposed to represent in this spread? What is the King of Swords trying to tell group number 3 about? Why is this King of Swords here? And we have heal, and group number 2 got this card: to mend, to tend to your wounds, to relieve pain, to attend to wellness and health. And why is the Knight of Pentacles here? What is this card trying to tell us? Ooh. Expression, creative and self-expression, the way you choose to convey, consciously or unconsciously, an idea, an opinion, or emotion. Okay, and then this 7 of Swords. What is this 7 of Swords trying to convey? Relationship, the way you are connected and related to something or somebody, including yourself. Okay, and then at the bottom of the deck, we have spirituality, metaphysics, and philosophy. Okay, so this bottom of the deck energy here, I want this to sort of represent the main theme of this new chapter of your life. And the phrase that I'm hearing is like, you are carving your own way, or you are carving your own path. And I also think that discernment is a very important keyword. The 5 of Swords, it can indicate being out of alignment. It can indicate conflicts and disagreements. And I think that a lot of this next chapter for you guys is identifying and letting go of things that don't really sit right with you. And it's very interesting that we have the 7 of Swords here, because this can talk about deception, or it can talk about inauthenticity, just not really living in your truth. So we have this energy of like not living your truth. We have this energy of living out of alignment. I think that there's this energy of being brave enough to stand up for what you believe in, even if it's not the popular opinion, or to refuse to just accept entire belief systems, even if there's bits and pieces of it that you don't agree with. So just for an easy example, if you are into like new age spirituality, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with all of the concepts of new age spirituality. Like you're allowed to say like, I don't know, that sounds kind of BS to me, or I don't know, that doesn't really resonate with me. I think that a lot of the time, and maybe this kind of goes with the 7 of Swords, these things get like brands put on them and labels put on them, and there's like the aesthetic of being a spiritual person, for example, or like there's a certain brand that you have to stick to, or persona that you have to stick to if you're in this community. And it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're realizing you're allowed to belong to a certain group, for example. You're allowed to identify with a certain community. You're allowed to live by a certain belief system, and you don't have to agree with every single thing. You're allowed to, even within the spiritual community, like, I don't know, a divine counterpart journey, you can follow that journey. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree with all of the like popular belief or discourse that is out there about that journey, or manifestation, maybe some of the opinions out there about like the law of attraction or how the universe does or doesn't bring things to you. You're like, I don't know, that doesn't sound right to me. And like, that's okay. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to not be okay with some aspects. Like, you don't have to just accept and swallow the whole thing as it is, or like identify with every part of the brand, or you don't have to follow like a certain like persona and aesthetic of like what a spiritual person looks like or what members of this group look like. You are allowed to carve your own path. And maybe you've been kind of living out of alignment for some time because it's like you're trying to fit a certain mold, or like what you think this type of person should look like. Or maybe you've been afraid to speak up that you disagree with some things because you think like you will get, what is it called? Ostracized, or like people will lash out at you. And I'm giving all of these examples of spirituality just because we have this like spirituality, metaphysics, philosophy, clarifying this, but this can really go for any aspect of your life. Maybe you consider yourself to be a member of like productivity community or self-improvement community, but you also think that there are some beliefs being upheld in this community that are toxic. And you're like, is anyone gonna talk about this? Or like, should I say something? Are you guys gonna hate me if I call this out and say that this is dumb? Or like, if I don't think that this is really genuine? I think you're becoming brave enough to just like forge your own path and also speak up about things that you feel are out of alignment or BS. And like, it doesn't mean that you're saying it's objectively BS for everyone, but just like, this doesn't work for me, or this seems kind of weird and I feel like nobody is talking about it. You know, like, talk about things that don't work in the community. I'm also thinking of like, this might be a weird example, but like, I see sometimes fans of celebrities where it's like, you're not allowed to say that like they were wrong for this, because then it's like, oh, you're not a real fan, or you're attacking them. Or like, you can't say like, oh, I love their work, but I don't really like this one song of theirs, because you'll have a bunch of people on your butt like attacking you for your opinion. It's like, you don't have to like everything in a group to be a part of that group, or you don't have to agree with everything of a certain philosophy to still, you know, live by a lot of things in that philosophy, you know? Like, you can really pick and choose. And actually, I'm just remembering that kind of one of the meanings of the Seven of Swords, or I've seen someone interpret that way and I really liked it, was picking and choosing, you know? And when it comes to your personal philosophy and your personal beliefs, you can pick and choose, you know? You can take little belief from this community and a belief from this community and from this spiritual subgenre. I don't know what the right word is. And all these little bits and pieces form your unique worldview. And of course, goes without saying, you can also come up with your own beliefs, like, you know? So yeah, you don't have to 100% fit into a box, and you can speak up if something feels wrong. So that is like a big theme of this next chapter, allowing yourself to have those unpopular opinions or contradicting opinions, or you don't have to just blindly accept everything. We're thinking critically and we're forging our own path. That's like the big theme. And with relationship, clarifying this, I do think that this is about, you know, this can talk about the relationship with yourself, as this card says. Definitely you're creating space to be more authentic with yourself and more authentic with others around you. When you start to speak up about what you really believe, it could also be like a test of your relationships for some of you, you know, because I think that even in relationships between people, we cannot agree on everything. You know, we're not gonna, no two people are gonna have the exact same opinions on everything and the exact same values. And I think if your relationship is strong, you can have these differing views and still respect each other. So when you start to really speak up about what you believe, you might notice which of your relationships are very strong and which of them were just based on this persona that we put on, if that makes sense. When you show the authentic you, you will be shown who is worthy of the authentic you. That's another way to put it. Interesting. So let's take a look at the stuff that we have over here. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is clarified by a line. Interestingly, this can talk about balance and reciprocity and like harmonious energy exchanges. With the number 6, it makes me think a lot of like love and reciprocation and balance, healthy relationships. And we don't see it on this card, but there's very often like two people around here in this card and like they're equals. I do think that this is you guys aligning with people who are an energetic match to you, people who are in alignment with your highest good. I also think this could be about you guys aligning with one of your purposes. You know, I think that you have multiple purposes in this lifetime, but I think that the one you're aligning with right now is how you can best serve others, or how you can best, how you can best help others and how you can best like give back to others, because that is another meaning of the Six of Pentacles. It's like, you know, service, generosity, helping others out. So I think something very exciting about this new chapter for you is you're finding something that you're passionate about that really helps your circle or helps your larger community. This could be some form of volunteering, or it could be something that you're financially compensated for. I can definitely see it going either way, but it's like you're falling in love with that act of service. It's very rewarding for you to give back in this way. So this is a very lazy example because I'm reading tarot cards right now, but maybe you find that you really love reading tarot, and then you also realize like, oh, I can help a lot of people doing this. Like I can inspire a lot of people doing this. Or maybe you really love puppies, and then you find that you can volunteer at the Humane Society. So it's like, I'm doing something that I love, and I'm also serving these puppies, and I'm also helping this organization that is understaffed, and you know, they need a lot of help taking care of the animals. So there's a feeling of you, like you're helping, you're taking care of people, like where help is really needed. It's like there's some kind of shortage and you are helping. Or maybe you're like participating in one of those, like, you know, when you do a run and then you're sponsored by people and you get donations for like cancer research, for example. I think that's a big one. We used to do that in elementary school. There was like Run for the Cure that we participated in. So yeah, something where you're raising awareness or raising funds or volunteering. And it's like through doing something that you really love, you can contribute to a good cause. And because you genuinely enjoy it, I think like you can keep doing this for a long time. It might become something new that you just do in your life. Like you provide this service, you improve lives, you really help out and give back. So that's awesome. That's one of your purposes in this lifetime, and it's going to feel really good doing it. I love that for you. I also want to mention this is Taurus, more specifically moon in Taurus. So you or someone significant could have a Taurus moon, or I'm even thinking about the new moon in Taurus, which I don't know if that's already happened when you're watching this. Maybe it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to be in, is it late April? I think so. I think it's going to be in late April, so that might be an important time for you guys. Okay, so moving on, we have the King of Swords, which is clarified by heal, to mend, to tend to your wounds, to relieve pain, to attend to wellness and health. So there's a couple different ways that I can interpret this. The King of Swords can indicate like a mentor, someone with more knowledge or experience who is helping you. So for that to be clarified by heal, it could be that some of you guys in this stage of your life are seeking professional help for your own healing and for your own personal growth. So therapy is like a really easy example of that. Or it could be, if you're already using those services, it could be that you're finding someone who is a really good match for you, someone that you really vibe with, because of course, not everyone is a good match for everyone. And that would make a lot of sense with align. Like you're aligning with people who are an energetic match to you, that the energy just flows well. So you could be finding a mentor, a counselor, a therapist, a reader, all of the above, who just you really look up to and really value them. And also they get you. And when you have sessions with them, when you listen to what they have to say, it just like clicks. It just makes sense. And again, doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything they're saying, but you find that there's a lot of value to how they are guiding you and how they are supporting you. So finding that match, that's definitely something I see. Also, I don't know what this has to do with heal, but this could also be finding a teacher whose explanations just like really make sense for you. Some of you guys have been trying to learn a skill and you think, oh, I'm just not cut out for this. I'm just not good at this. But it's actually because you haven't found the right teacher yet. You haven't found someone who can explain it well enough yet, or explains it in a way that your brain really gets. So let's say you're trying to learn a language and you're like, man, I'm just really not picking up this language. Like I've been going to private lessons, I've been going to group lessons, I've been doing online classes, and it's not working. This is suggesting that it's not because your brain can't pick up the language or anything like that. It's just you haven't found a person who effectively teaches the language or who teaches in a way that is compatible with your learning style. So finding the right teacher could be a really big fix. And actually, maybe that is healing some wound where you're like, I'm just not good enough at this. I'm just not smart enough. I'm just not cut out for this. You may have these limiting beliefs that cause you to, you try to achieve a goal, you try to learn something new and it just doesn't work out. And then you give up and you feel like a failure. And you're realizing I'm not a failure. I'm not bad at this. I'm not dumb. I just haven't found the right match. I think we often, well, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I think sometimes we can get into this dynamic where it's just the teacher evaluating the student. The teacher knows all, the teacher is flawless, and like if the student can't learn the material, then it's because the student is doing something wrong. But the student should also be evaluating the teacher, especially if you are paying them. Like, you should be evaluating their teaching skills too. And you have authority to say, like, I don't like the way you're teaching this, So yeah, you're not dumb. You're not bad at anything. You got to find the good match, and also find someone you like. Cause like, if you like your teacher as a person, if you like your instructor as a person, like you're going to keep going, right? You're going to keep going to the classes cause you enjoy being around them. So you could be really enjoying learning a new skill during this time, or finding a new love for a skill that you've been trying to learn for a long time. You maybe even thought you didn't like something, but it was just that you didn't like the teacher. No offense to the teacher, it's just that maybe they weren't right for you. Like maybe you thought you hated literature, like you hate English or whatever your native languages. Like, I hate going to that class. I have to read novels and write essays. But then you meet a teacher who's so passionate about it and makes it so fun. So learning skills is going to be really fun for you during this time because you're with the right people. Whether that's like an academic skill or an interpersonal skill, an emotional skill, it's going to be very fun for you. You're going to have an amazing relationship with your teachers, instructors, and counselors at this time. Yes. I also think a completely other thing that this is referring to is that you are healing the relationship between your head and your heart, where your logical brain is not something that dismisses your emotions or dismisses your intuition, but is actually something that helps you make sense of those things. Your logical brain works to serve your emotions and serve your intuition. And I think a lot of us struggle with this. We have, for example, we have an intuitive hit about something on our spiritual path. Then our logical brain comes in and says, that's stupid, that's unrealistic. That is an unhealthy relationship between the head and the heart. You know, your head should come in and say, oh, I see that you're having this intuitive hit. Like, what do you think this is all about? And uses logic to help you come to the best conclusion, not to just immediately shut it down and say, like, that's unrealistic, you're being crazy, you're being sensitive. No, let's dig deep about why we're having this experience. So mending that relationship, I think, is another theme of this new chapter for you. So moving on now, we have the Knight of Pentacles, our star of the video, because she's come out in all of the readings, and it's clarified by expression. Creative and self-expression, the way you choose to convey consciously or unconsciously an idea, an opinion, or emotion. One thing that I will say is that I think in this next chapter, you guys are coming across, or probably because you just are this way, but you're coming across as someone who really has it all together, who's really level-headed, who has a good head on their shoulders, and is really going places, who is really set up for success. This is how others are viewing you during this time. And probably the reason they're viewing you this way is because there is a lot of truth to that. And I think maybe this is coming out because your guides want you to know that you actually have it a lot more together than you give yourself credit for. You're doing a really good job of navigating life and navigating being human and showing up every day. And maybe you need to give yourself a little bit more credit for that. I don't talk about how others perceive you because, like, you should care a lot about it. But I think if so many people around you are seeing you as like, yeah, they got it figured out, like they're doing life really good, they're doing amazing things, it's because there is some truth to that. You're the common denominator if everyone's seeing you that way, so they must be seeing something. You need to give yourself more credit. Definitely. Yes. And I do think that you're very much on your way to success. I kind of see this as you taking a moderate approach towards your goals so that you don't experience burnout. And I also think that if you're someone who, like, your creative inspiration and your productivity has been very sporadic, you know, like you'll suddenly get a huge burst of inspiration and then you'll work nonstop on a project for like 3 weeks and then you'll have like 3 months of burnout. It's going to become a lot more like this, you know? We're not like, wow, I'm so, what is it called? Tunnel vision on this project and I'm going to not sleep for 3 days and like barely eat and just like sit and do this thing and then you die after. It's going to be a lot more consistent, a lot more sustainable. I think that's how your work style and creative style might be changing. So we're putting in more moderate amounts of effort and focus, but we're doing it more consistently in the long term. And you're going to find that you experience a lot less burnout this way and you get a lot more done. And there was something that I wanted to say and now I'm forgetting. Oh, I don't like when that happens. But anyway, if it's important, it will come back. But I think the main point of this, it was that, sorry, I got it. It was that I think you're exercising a bit of self-restraint at this time. So if you're in one of your productive moods, like, you might be tempted to just go overboard and like stay up for 24 hours and get a bunch of stuff done. But this is like, you're practicing self-restraint because you trust, like, it's okay, like, I'm gonna be motivated tomorrow, I'm gonna show up tomorrow, like, we can get this done at a later time. Or maybe you get into this kind of anxious, I do this sometimes, where I get super anxious that there's not enough time to get stuff done, and so I try to, like, I just like rush through things. And so if this were me, it would be like me saying, it's okay, you can do the rest of this tomorrow, you're gonna have enough time, like, it's gonna get done. You don't have to rush to get it all done now. There's plenty of time to do everything else. We do a little bit every day consistently. And this way we avoid burnout. And when you avoid burnout, you're happier, you're healthier, and you're more productive. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, your creative inspiration and your drive, it's gonna be less like this. I just saw 30-30, by the way, and just more like that. Very sustainable. We love that. This Oracle deck is so cool because it tells you, like, I think it's really good for all levels, but it's really cool for beginners because, like, sometimes you just get this spread and you're like, what the heck is this talking about? But then when you pull these, it tells you what each tarot card is supposed to be referring to. And so it's been really cool that this Knight of Coins has come out 3 times, but, like, it's referring to something different every time. You know, of course, there's that key theme of, you know, consistency and sustainability that's been coming through for all the groups, which I love, but it's like different every time. Yeah, I love that about, like, tarot readings. It's like with the different combinations, like, a card can just become something completely different. It's so fun. I love it. Anyway, I think we have gone through all of the cards now. You've seen how beautiful these decks look together. So cool how, like, the colors matched up for some of them. But I'm gonna end the reading here. So thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack as well for allowing me to collaborate with you on another seasonal bundle. Thank you to the creators of these amazing decks. They look so gorgeous on their own and they look so gorgeous together, and it's an honor to use them. And again, thank you so much to you guys for letting me sit down and read your cards for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you are watching this. And remember that you can get 10% off this bundle with the code KINO. It's gonna be linked down below. And like I said, I'm also gonna link the individual decks because on Tarot Stack's website, you can look at every single card in the deck. So if you're thinking like, oh, I kind of like this deck, but I want to see what the other cards look like, I want to get a better picture, get a better feel for it, you can look at all the cards using the links down below. Yes, please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless. You can check out my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these ones, except for you guys get to pick the topic. You can check out my music channel, which includes the intro song of my tarot videos. That is an original song. You can check out my vlog channel, which is KINO Vlogs, and you can check out my merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description, as well as in the pinned comment of this video. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means so much to me. Group number 3s, I am sending love to you, to your spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number fours, so if you guys chose the Aqua Aura, this is going to be a reading all about the new beginnings coming your way in this next chapter of your life. Let me introduce the decks that we're going to be using today. They go super nice together. They're both so vibrant and colorful and full of life. These are the Zeke's Arcana Tarot and the Spread Crafters Oracle, and together they make the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I have curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. I think a lot of you guys are familiar with Tarot Stack already, but just in case you haven't heard of them, they are an online shop that features a wide selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, so you can browse a ton of different indie decks all in one place. And what I really love about Tarot Stack, besides their gorgeous collection, is the fact that 50% of their profits go towards helping indie tarot and oracle deck creators release their projects. So they help the creators get their decks printed and published and get them out there into the world. I'm really grateful to have someone like Tarot Stack in our community, helping creators and supporting tarot readers and tarot enthusiasts alike. Very, very grateful for them and super happy to be collaborating with them again on another seasonal bundle. So I'm gonna have this bundle linked down below for you guys, and I'm also gonna link the individual decks if you want to check them out separately. But if you do want to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. So without further ado, let's get into your reading. We're gonna start off with the tarot, and I'm gonna pull a few cards from here, and then we're gonna go right into the oracle to get some clarifiers. So for my group number fours, my Aqua Auras, what can they expect in this new chapter of their life? What awaits them in this next chapter? Ooh, so we have the King of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords. This came out for group number 3 as well. We have the Knight of Swords. How many is that? 2. Okay, we can take 2. We have the High Priestess and the Five of Pentacles, which came out together. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles. There's been a lot of repeating cards throughout the groups. Quite interesting. So now we're gonna get clarifiers for all of these. Okay, so let's start with the King of Coins here. What is this card representing? What is the King of Coins trying to tell us in group number 4's spread? What is the King of Coins referring to? Okay, we have compromise, to negotiate, to reach a mutual agreement, to figure out a solution for everyone involved. And what about the Seven of Swords? Why is the Seven of Swords here? What is it trying to tell us? What does the Seven of Swords refer to for group number 4? Limiting beliefs. Interesting. What are the negative assumptions or perceptions that limit and stop you from being the best version of yourself? What have you been conditioned to believe? For the Knight of Swords, why is the Knight of Swords here? Expression. Creative and self-expression, the way you choose to convey, consciously or unconsciously, an idea, an opinion, or emotion. So many, like this came out in a different group as well. There's a lot of repeating cards. I wonder if like a lot of you guys feel drawn to multiple groups today, or like if we're just kind of going through the same things as a collective. Okay, and then we have triggers. What is making you feel uncomfortable? What is causing the negative reactions within you or from you? What needs to be resolved? Oh wait, this is supposed to be bottom of the deck, but I shuffled it a little bit. So maybe we needed to change the bottom of the deck card for you guys. Ooh, so to clarify our Eight of Pentacles, we have disengage. To disown something that is not aligned with who you are, to disagree, to step away from a toxic influence, to take a break. Interesting. So I have been using these bottom of the deck energies. I just saw 555, by the way. Another thing that has happened in all four of the groups is seeing like 3 repeating numbers in a row. And for you guys, I saw 555, which likely means that in this next chapter, there are some big changes. And I'm hearing like adjustments, major adjustments are being made to your life or to your path. And I think that's what we're gonna see here. I don't remember if I already said this. I just remember seeing 555, but I've been using these bottom of the deck cards to sort of represent the main theme for you in this new chapter. So we have, you are disengaging from the Eight of Pentacles. There's a feeling of you are disengaging from the hustle, from work, from a certain position, or from something that you have been putting a lot of effort into. And there is this clear image in my mind right now of someone who is working really, really hard on developing a skill or working really, really hard towards a goal. And they have tunnel vision towards this thing. And they're just like fiercely working towards it. And they're so caught up in reaching the end that they don't stop to ask themselves, am I even still enjoying this? Is this still even serving me? And I think that this can be applied to so many different things. Maybe you are in a program of study, like you're studying to get a degree at university, and you're like 2 years in and you've been so focused on like, let's just get to the end, let's just get to graduation, that maybe we're not taking that time to reflect, like, am I still happy doing this? Or like, is this still in alignment with what I see myself doing in the long-term future? Is this in alignment with my values and how I want to serve the world? It's like, there's something that we've just been going hard at consistently, which is very admirable, but and it's not even necessarily about, do I want to quit or not? I mean, it could very well be about that, but it's just more like, am I still happy with the way I'm doing things? So it could even be like, let's use myself as an example. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm stopping and saying, hey, like, do I still want to do this tarot channel? Which, I mean, I should be asking myself that question. But this could also be me saying, like, am I happy with how I'm interacting with my viewers? Like, am I happy with the type of content that I'm putting out? Or do I maybe want to pivot? Do I want to try something different with my content? It's like we're not stopping to ask ourselves, am I still happy doing this? Do I maybe want to quit? Or do I maybe want to make adjustments so that it's more fulfilling for me or more enjoyable for me? So there's this feeling of like we've been on autopilot for a long time with regards to some goal or some skill that we're developing or a job that we're doing. And this next chapter is starting because we're taking a moment to disengage from it, like to zoom out from it and ask, like, is this still in alignment with the version of me I'm trying to become? And like I said, it could be a, should I stay or should I go? Or it could be, I know I'm going to stay. Maybe I should tweak some things. So very interesting. We're like taking stock of what we're putting our effort into, and like if it's still serving us, if it's still valuable. Because, you know, our energy is, our energy is infinite, but in many ways it's also finite. You know, a person can they only have 24 hours in a day. That's just the reality for all of us. And we only have so much physical energy and mental focus, like mental bandwidth, that we can give to things in our life. So it's important that we're giving them to things that serve us and that make us happy and that uplift people around us. So we're just kind of like pausing to reflect and like make sure everything is still good. Interesting. So now we're going to get into these energies here. I will go through them in order. We have the King of Coins, which is clarified by compromise, to negotiate, to reach a mutual agreement, to figure out a solution for everyone involved. So actually, the first thing that came to my mind with this is having some kind of negotiation with a boss. I realize not everybody watching this reading has a boss, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. So it could be, for example, negotiating for a raise or negotiating for some time off, and we're finding a solution where everybody is happy. It could also be negotiating with a client. Could even be with a parent to get more freedoms, or negotiating things with a partner. If you have felt like you're wanting more out of a situation, but there's like other people's interests are involved, I do feel that there's a way that you can get what you want and also the others involved will be happy. Even if it doesn't seem like that on the surface, it might seem like a situation where it's like either I win or you win. But if we're patient and if we really talk things through, and if we keep our mind open to hearing each other out, we can find something where everyone gets what they want. And just the first thing that came to my mind with this was that it's with an employer. So that might be the case for a lot of you. Like you want more flexibility, you want more freedom, you want more compensation. It could even be something like you want to be allowed to wear certain things to work. It doesn't necessarily have to be about money, but it's like we're negotiating something with some authority figure so that we can have more freedom or rewards, whether that's like a boss, a parent, a teacher, whatever it might be. And because this is talking about a new chapter of your life, I definitely don't think this is a one-time thing. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, can you please give me Saturday off? It's like, I want to start having all day Saturday and all day Sunday off, always. Like, I don't want you like calling me for work stuff on weekends. Like, I want to have my weekends off from now on. Or I want to start getting off work at 4 p.m. because I want to go home and be with my kids or something like that. It's something that we're agreeing on this, and this is how it's going to be from now on in the long term. Or like, I want a raise in my salary. It's not like I just want this one-time bonus. So we're making negotiations that will improve your life in the long term and that also other people will be happy with. And I think for a lot of you, it has to do with like we're getting more money or we have more flexibility in our schedule. Something like that. So moving on, we have the Seven of Swords. Oh, I should mention, we have Earth sign energy here. We also have Virgo energy here, like Sun in Virgo. So a Virgo sun could be significant, or Virgo season could be significant, which is late August to late September. And then here we have Aquarius moon. So it'd be really cool if some of you are like an Earth sign with an Aquarius moon, or like a Virgo sun, Aquarius moon. Anyway, you don't have to be, that would just be cool. So, very interesting, the clarifier that we have for the Seven of Swords, because the Seven of Swords talks about deception, something not being completely truthful, something not being genuine, or like you're not seeing the whole picture, you're not seeing the full truth. And it can be about BS and sneaky stuff. So, to have limiting beliefs underneath this, some of the, no, a lot of the negative assumptions or perceptions about that you make about yourself or that you make about life are just not true. And they're stopping you from living your best life. Your limiting beliefs are BS. Your limiting beliefs are not true. This is a very straightforward message. And actually, if we combine these two messages, you could have a limiting belief that, for example, bringing these things up doesn't matter because it's not going to work out anyway. Like maybe you have a limiting belief that like the higher ups at work are very stubborn and very selfish and they don't want to help me. So you're like, I'm just not even going to ask for what I want because they're going to say no anyway. I'm not going to ask for help because I'm going to get rejected anyway. That will stop you from speaking up and getting the help that you need. One thing about the King of Coins, he is giving, he is generous, and he is tolerant. Like he will hear you out. He might be, you know, kind of conservative and traditional, but that doesn't mean that he can't change his mind at all. So you might have some assumptions about other people, like they're going to say no, they're not going to help me, there's no use in bringing this up, which could be stopping you from having some really constructive conversations and hearing each other out and finding a good outcome for everyone. You may also have limiting beliefs about your own capabilities and what you truly deserve. Maybe we're not asking for a raise because we feel like we don't deserve it. And actually, this can very much be talking about that. The High Priestess with the Five of Pentacles, because the Five of Pentacles talks about lack, going without. And I personally very often see the High Priestess coming through when we're being encouraged to raise the bar a bit, or just our guides want to let us know that we are worthy of more, that we could very much step it up and ask for more, charge more, whatever it might be. So this could very well be a situation where some of you guys want to, for example, negotiate with your boss for a raise, or like tell your clients that you want to start charging more or something like this, but you're afraid to do it because you have a belief that like they're going to get mad at me, or they're going to say no and then I'm going to lose clients, or my work isn't good enough to ask for this much, my services are not useful enough to ask for this much. Like you might have limiting beliefs surrounding like the value that you bring to the table, the value of your labor, of your services, of your intellect, of your insight, of your creativity. But if you were to speak up and assert your worthiness, whoever it is, your boss, your clients, people in your life, they'll be like, yeah, you're right. You will see that this negotiation ends favorably. Interesting. Like even this little, I don't know what this is, a little monkey, some kind of monkey. It almost looks like he's cowering away. Yes. I will say, because there was a message about disengaging and making adjustments. If you're in some kind of situation where you can't ask for more or you can't get more and it's out of your control, I feel like that will change. That will change in this next chapter. So for example, if you're like, KINO, I can't get a raise because the job that I'm in like there's no opportunity for growth, or like I can't even find a job to begin with. Like if you're in a situation where you literally can't ask for more, I think that that's going to be changing. The number 555, like the number 5 is about change, but I feel like it's like radical change of your life. It changes the whole structure of your life. So some of you guys could be having a drastically new beginning at this time. Especially positive changes coming towards the type of income that is... Ooh, doorbell ringing during a reading, that is definitely a sign. There's opportunity coming knocking for you guys. Like something is coming to improve like the types of jobs that are available to you, or the type of income that is available to you, or freedom of your profession, financial freedom. If you feel stuck, if you're like, I can't ask for more, things will be changing for you. Okay, so next we have the Knight of Swords with expression. Very interesting that we're talking about expressing yourself, and then this person's head is like cracking open. I think in this next chapter, you're able to speak your mind. Whether this is because you've overcome an insecurity, so you're like, haha, I can say whatever I want now, or maybe some external circumstances have changed. Now you have more freedom that you can actually say what you want to say. You are gaining in this new chapter. I thought they were gonna leave it outside. My bad. I gotta get that. Something is changing for you in this chapter where you can just say whatever the heck is on your mind. For some of you, it might be because you are moving into a community or a culture or just an environment that is more open-minded in some way, or where like differing opinions are welcomed, or all kinds of expression is welcomed. There's just a feeling of complete like freedom of expression. You don't have to hold things back. You can just say what is on your mind. Like, for example, maybe you guys were in a job before where the workplace culture was like the boss is completely right all the time, and you must never question the boss. That's like the worst thing you could do. And if you ever dare like speak up to the boss, you will get punished in some way. Like, they'll start doing little passive aggressive things and like singling you out and just making life at work hell for you. So like, don't you dare question them. And then you're moving into a different workplace environment where the boss and the employees are really like equals. They're really like collaborators, and the boss is always open to new ideas and always open to suggestions, and in fact invites everyone to like openly collaborate on managing the projects. It's like, if you really feel stuck where you are and you're like, there's no way this can change, you might just be moving into a new environment that is more flexible, more open-minded, and just more free. There's a feeling of you're moving from a situation that was honestly like stifling you and just like pushing you down, and now you get to be free. And it could also be like you were in an environment where one person called all the shots. Like, you're working on a creative project with a bunch of people, but like no one ever listens to your ideas. You know, just like it's always what this one person wants to do. Like, let's say you're in a band and like this one member of the band, freaking Tim, like F that guy. No offense if your name is Tim, he's fictional. Like, why do we always do the songs that Tim wants to do? Why does Tim always get the final say in the mixing? Why is it always Tim? You know, like, aren't I just an equal member of this band, and yet my ideas never get put on the album? Are we really the Knight of Swords, or are we Tim and the Knight of Swords? Anyway, that was your band name, the Knight of Swords. Anyway, I think you guys get the picture. You're moving into a space where your expression is valued and your idea is valued, and you're not being stifled, okay? So yeah, and we spoke about this a little bit, the High Priestess with the Five of Pentacles. Something that we could be healing in this new chapter is a lack mentality. When I talk about people having limiting beliefs, I want to be very clear that this is not a judgment, you know? Like, oh, you could be living your best life if you didn't have so many limiting beliefs. No, limiting beliefs, we don't just make them up. We're conditioned to believe that way. from the way that we are treated, from how people around us believe, from how our parents believed when we were little. Like, it's not your fault if you have limiting beliefs or negative thoughts. But as an adult, it is our responsibility to heal and to work through these triggers. But yeah, it's not a judgment. We all have limiting beliefs, like we all struggle. And I think that one thing that this group might be working through at this time is some sort of lack mentality. Intuitively, what I feel, I mean, it could come from many different things, but maybe some of you guys grew up not having a lot materially. So you often saw the adults in your life, you know, like, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. And so even if you're doing pretty fine as an adult, like, that feeling just kind of carries on, like, I'm not going to have enough, I'm going to go without. So you can never really just like enjoy life and stop worrying. Or you could have had people in your life who made you feel like you're asking for too much, like you're being too demanding. That could have happened in personal relationships, could have happened in professional relationships as well. Like, you said, I charge blah, blah, blah for my services. And they're like, huh, like, someone thinks highly of themselves. Like, making these comments like, there's no way you can ask for that much. There's no way that you can be worth that much. Rather than just saying like, oh, I don't think that fits my budget. Like, just say that, you know, like, you don't have to make the other person feel bad. But, you know, whatever. People like to project stuff. So anyway, yeah. Healing limiting beliefs surrounding abundance, whether that's like your ability to create abundance or worthiness of abundance, or just tough times that you've been through as a child or even as an adult, and just telling yourself it doesn't have to stay this way forever. There may have been times that I went without, I may be struggling now, but that doesn't mean that this has to be my situation forever. Like, believing in your ability to change the script and to be supported. And some of you may find that support in your current position, in your current environment. Others of you, it may be somewhere else, but I promise you that support is out there. With this triggers card clarifying, I feel like this is very personal. Like, it will be very personal to each and every one of you. But there is an encouragement here to take an honest look at what triggers this mentality. I don't know why I don't feel like going super deep into it. Maybe just because it's like deeply personal. But I guess looking at things out in the world, or looking at things in other people that rub you the wrong way, or that annoy you, or that upset you, and you feel called to judge that person. But instead of doing that, we look inside and say, what is this person or situation triggering in me? Why does like something about this person make me feel lacking or make me feel insecure? And again, it's not about casting judgment on yourself, because we all have these insecurities. We all have a lack mentality in some way or another. But it's doing a really good thing for ourselves to identify and let it be seen. Because at the end of the day, like, our pain just wants to be seen. I think just seeing it and being present with it is a huge part of the healing process. Just allowing it to exist and saying like, pain, I see you. I see you, and you're allowed to be here. And looking at our insecurities can be hard. It can be scary. Because I think in society, they're like associated with weakness. And I was just thinking about this yesterday. Like, I don't like when we say stuff like, oh, like they're just insecure. Like, that's not an insult. Like, everyone is insecure. And we need to start having more compassion for our insecurities, because again, we didn't just make them up. We didn't just decide to be insecure one day. Like, they developed over time from the repetitive treatment that we received or the repetitive narratives that we were exposed to. And it's not our fault what we're conditioned to believe, but we have the responsibility, or actually I should say we have the power to like go inside us and like rewrite the code. We have the power to go inside and change our wiring, to change our script. And so I guess these cards are suggesting that there may be things that like annoy you or piss you off, but it's actually that they trigger some like lacking feeling within you. They trigger some lack mentality. And so we have to kind of look objectively at that. So that is just one like piece of guidance I think that's coming from this. But I think that those are all the messages for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Needless to say, I think that there's a lot of freedom and abundance coming for you in this next chapter. I see you being more assertive. I see you, not only knowing your worth, but you're gonna let them know. You're gonna let people know, this is how precious I am, okay? So, and we're not putting up with mistreatment anymore, whether it's from ourselves or from others. Yes, so these are all the messages I see for you guys. I'm gonna end the reading here. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you very much to Tarot Stack for allowing me to collaborate with you on another seasonal bundle. And thank you so much to the creators of these decks. They are so gorgeous. I just love how they look together. It's been an honor to use them. If you guys like this bundle, I'm gonna have it linked down below for you. And like I said, I'm also gonna link the individual decks. If you feel like you might resonate with one of these decks, but you just wanna take a bit of a closer look at some of the other cards, you can see every card of the deck on Tarot Stack's website. So if you feel like you might like one of these decks, I highly recommend checking out the links. And remember, if you do choose to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. So thank you guys so much once again for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find my pick a card readings on Instagram, many of which are timeless. You can find my pick a card videos on Patreon, which are just like these ones, except for you get to pick the topic. You can check out my music on my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. You can check out my vlog channel, which is Kino Vlogs, and you can check out my merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is gonna be linked down below for you in the description as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. I truly appreciate your support, and I'm sending you guys lots of love to you, your spirit guides, your whole spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.